Okay.
Last time I recorded our whole thing because I was like, we end up talking about really good stuff, just like all the time.
We do.
I want to take the last video we did, like our last session, and cut it up into the little chunks when we talk about each thing. Cause I'm like, we made some really good points. And even just those themselves by themselves were really good. And then it was like, I'm like a drama ding dong too. And I love the behind the scenes. I love the like director notes.
Yeah,
So
I do
to me,
too.
that kind of stuff could be fun. If they like
I
us
do
as a
too.
team and they like our thoughts, then all the like.
So my conundrum, I guess you could say, is I don't know where to put those things. Like you sent me that little short of the video and I was like, oh yeah, that's really great. So what do I do with that now?
Put it as a story or just as a little thing in your Instagram post. You don't do Instagram, you do
Yeah,
Facebook. Just put it in.
Instagram, and then just put it like as a reel.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you can do like little things in your description of like, if you like this, contact me here or whatever.
Okay.
But yeah, those are all the kinds of things that people like to watch, that I like to watch. Those little 60-second or less
Yeah, I love to watch
info.
the behind the scenes of things, like just watching people work or yeah, I don't know. I'm just a goofball.
Yeah. And then I like it too because there have been a couple times when we've done our brainstorming sessions and we talk about really good stuff and we're like, yeah, I did this and this and this. And then it doesn't show up in the actual thing.
Yes, it's
Because
so
we're like, oh,
true.
we already talked about that. We don't need to
It's
talk
so
about that
true.
again.
And you know what? I'm glad that you said that because I think that there's so much goodness that we can record now that we can, like, now that we have this technology, we can record it and put those little snippets out that our brains just like go to, because there are so many times that I'm on a call with my friends or, my coach friends or whatever, and we're brainstorming and they're like, well, who do you help? And I come up with this great thing. And then I'm like, that doesn't actually show up in my marketing. What I want is what I said and the passion that I had when I was talking to you or when I was talking to, whatever. So yeah, I'm glad that you know how to do all of that stuff because I don't know how to do it.
Well, that's why we're a good team, is you do stuff that I don't do and I do stuff that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I also like, so when I was listening to that thing, when we put out little things like that, if we offer that and the energy that we do, I want it to be like our ladies that listen and the men, I want them to be like, I had this discussion the other day with my friends and
Yeah.
this is what we talked about.
Yeah.
Like I want it to
Yes.
feel like that.
Yes, I do too. Yep.
Rather
Yep.
than I watch this thing to be like, I had this talk with my friends.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I do too. Yeah. I think both of us have that dynamic where we just instantly bring people in to us, like when we start talking. And I think
You
I
do.
think, I think that we both have strengths in that area, just different. Like there's going to be people that are like, oh, I resonate with Ruth. And that other girl is kind of crazy, but it's kind of fun to watch. Like people will say that about me. Or there's going to be people that are like, oh my gosh, Sherry and I totally resonate. And Ruth kind of brings us all back, you know? So I just think that we have a good partnership. Like I think we're
like
good for each other. Okay. So seeking truth as a high value woman.
Yes. Well, becoming a high value woman through seeking truth. See, that's why I like the lover of truth, because it just flows better in that thing. But that was always our tagline: becoming a high value woman.
Mm-hmm.
Then blah 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
So through being a seeker of truth or being a lover of truth, something about truth. Not even just a defender, because a defender is sort of like, it's a defensive position, but we need to be in the opposition, like searching for truth.
As we seek for truth.
Well, see, that word, prepositions are important. So that word changes the meaning, because that implies that as we seek for truth, we might lose our value. Does that read the same way to you? Because this is like another example of the preposition would be, Being a godly woman as you live in the world.
Mm.
Do you hear how that?
Mm-hmm.
So I think the preposition as maybe isn't what, because high value women seek for truth. It's one of those traits of a high
Yes.
value woman. If you want to
Yes.
be a high value woman, this is something you need to develop. So that's the
Mhm.
connection.
Yeah, we just got to figure out what the word is that brings
Yeah.
those together.
So becoming a high value woman. Or becoming a high value woman as a seeker of truth. So then we make it the trait rather than the verb.
Mhm.
Right? Does that do it?
Yeah.
That do
You're
it?
much better with the English and the proper ways to say it,
The semantics.
you know?
That's because they're so important. Like, even if people don't know how to say it, we still feel it. Words do matter.
Yeah.
And that's why in the world we fuss about what words to use. That's
Mhm.
why we like to use soft words like child attracted person rather than baby raper.
Mhm. Mhm.
Because words matter.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay. I have too many notebooks. I never can remember where I write my notes at. I need to have one for this thing we have going on here. Okay, so the things I wrote down that we talked about the other day was willing to ask questions, seeking facts, two things that can be true at once, shooting it straight, and not giving untrue compliments. Those were the things that I gathered when you were saying what you were kind of meaning by this.
Yeah. And the compliments, we decided we would cede for the compliments thing, but the compliments giving and receiving would be its own thing. So we can cede it, but not dive into it.
Mm-hmm.
Because it really is its own, like zooming in on that beast itself. Okay, then like just overall integrity. Or like keeping promises, or I'm just thinking of a few incidences, and then I'm always afraid to share in this part because I'm like, well, I already said it. I'm not going to share it in the other part. But like a few examples of times when I was like, oh, great, this is going to be an awesome girl. And then she did little things that I was like, ooh, well, you went shady there. So can I trust you here?
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Hi, what do you need? It should be in the closet where it goes. It's not in the closet. Oh, it's not a very big house. Go look in the guest room. Where's the vacuum? I
Okay.
don't know. There's 2 rooms it can be in because the house is only 2 rooms.
I have a haircut at noon.
Okay. Oh, okay. So what do we say? So asking questions, and I would even like make it a little more controversial, or like a little bit more shock, maybe a more shock value, and say be willing to ask stupid questions.
Okay.
Speak the facts. And what did we say? Oh, shooting straight. And I don't know if we put this in, but Jordan Peterson has the line of always tell the truth, or at least don't lie. And then I want to say Jody Branson. She has a thing where she has 3 principles, and one of them is impeccable honesty.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I have four that I love the most. Ask stupid questions, seek facts, shoot straight, impeccable honesty. Maybe shooting straight is the same as impeccable honesty. It's just a little bit more.
I think shooting straight is impeccable honesty.
Okay, so we'll have it be 3. So it's the 3 points. Being willing to ask stupid questions, seeking the facts, and then having impeccable honesty, with bullet points being like shooting people straight, always tell the truth, or at least don't lie. And then that feeds us for the compliments.
Yes. Yeah. I'm texting my son to have him go open the salon door.
Picking up the vacuum in my sound.
No, I can't hear it.
Oh, good.
Okay, so let's do that. Keeping promises, being able to ask stupid questions, and impeccable honesty.
Those are 4. So asking stupid questions, seeking facts.
Oh,
What did you just say that? But what did you just say? You said something was good. Oh, keeping promises.
Yeah. Well, I like I think the impeccable honesty and shooting straight is kind of the same thing.
Okay.
I mean, I think we could probably have an entire 30-minute discussion on keeping promises, an entire 30-minute discussion on impeccable honesty, an entire 30-minute discussion on being able to ask stupid questions. So I think for what the purposes of what we're doing right now is we're kind of like, I think all of these first 10 or 15 videos are seed videos anyway.
Yeah.
Because we're introducing our ideas, and then we're going to decide we need to go deeper into keeping promises. There's a few more things we want to say about that. I don't think people understand what we're saying when we say impeccable honesty. We don't mean being mean all the time. And if you think it, say it. That's not what impeccable honesty means, right? So let's dive into a little bit more on impeccable honesty and shooting it straight and always telling the truth and at least don't lie. Like, we're going to say a few of these things to kind of seed, but I think each one of our points we could take an entire live to dive into, really. So we're just kind of pulling the little pieces out for now. So do you want to have 3 points or do you want to have 4 points for today's?
Well, maybe 3, because we're 5 minutes per thing at this point. So 3.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll just stick all these other things we're talking about under impeccable honesty.
I think that the other thing, if we wanted to do a 4th one, I think that 2 things that can be true at the same time.
Yes.
Is a good one.
That one is super important too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because we cause so much drama in our life thinking,
yeah,
because I did this, everything else is invalid. Or because
yep.
my husband did this, everything else is invalid.
Or if I like or love or agree with this thing, then that means automatically I have to agree with this thing.
Yes.
Or if I agree with this thing in this particular group, then that means I have to allow and agree with everything that group represents.
Yes. Okay, that needs to be mentioned.
That one is a big one, I think.
Yeah, it is. Okay, so those are our 4.
Okay. So do you want to just like, do you want me to start it? Do you want you to start it and just like introduce it?
I think you're such a good leader, and you've kind of taken that role that like Sherry leads us.
Okay.
I think that and you're so good at it.
Okay.
I think, yeah.
Okay. So, you want me just to start and then you'll just edit?
Yep, I can
Whatever
edit
it
it.
is we
Yep.
start. Okay.